Hey there yogis, I'm Nicole. Welcome back to My Yoga Time. Today I have another deeply restorative yin practice for you. I am using a bolster for this practice. If you don't have a bolster, you can improvise with 2 or 3 pillows stacked on top of one another, or a really big blanket rolled up tightly. I've also got 2 yoga blocks, and if you don't have those, grab yourself a couple of thick books around the same thickness if you can. So when you're ready, we're going to begin on our back. I'm going to use the bolster for this first pose, but you can use the blocks if you prefer. So once on your back with those knees bent, lift up the hips and bring your prop in underneath the buttocks. So once there, I'll get you to straighten your right leg. Take the foot up towards the ceiling and interlace the hands around the thigh if you can. And just begin to push the leg into the hands and equally pull the hands onto the leg. So just a little bit of resistance there. We're not holding this for too long. You might even like to move your foot with the breath, inhaling to point the toes and exhaling to flex. As with all my classes, I encourage you to place the very tip of your tongue where the teeth meet the roof of the mouth. And begin to tone through the back of your throat for Ujjayi breath. Well done. Let's bend this knee now. Move your hands to the shin. And if it feels okay for your back, straighten and relax the left leg. Feel free to close the eyes down. Awareness moving now to the breath. Observing the navel rise and fall with the ebb and flow of your breath. Remember, the quality of your practice is determined by the quality of your breath. And let's release that right leg now. Take a hold of your left leg. We'll move into that hamstring stretch. Begin to move the foot with the breath. So this little stretch is not technically a yin pose. We're engaging our muscles here, creating that little resistance, that little bandha between the hands and the leg. So remember, in all of our practices, whether it's dynamic or yin or restorative, we want the breath to create space in the body from the inside out. And if you're overstraining, if you're overstretching, you'll inhibit the breath, therefore create more tension, which is the opposite of what we're trying to do. So when you're ready, let's take a hold of the shin, straighten and relax that right leg. And choosing the breath as your point of focus is a wonderful way to introduce meditation into your physical practice. And when you're ready, release that left leg. Just take a few breaths with both legs straight. Maybe take the arms above the head. And from there, we'll lift both feet up towards the ceiling. You might even like to hold onto both legs now. And then crossing right leg over the left leg. You might hold onto the knees or maybe the calves. Maybe you can take the hands a little lower to the feet. Guiding those legs in towards the chest. And taking a spacious in-breath into the outer hip, the lower belly, and the lower back. And let's unravel those legs. Inhaling. Again, you might like to hold on to the legs, point and flex the feet, whatever feels good. Treat this as a self-massage. When you're ready, left leg over the right leg, either hold those knees, maybe the feet. Again, breathing into the outer hip. Where attention goes, energy flows. At the top of the inhalation, be sure to pause, hold the breath each and every time, just for a few seconds. And then exhaling very slowly. And if you can, find another pause, another moment of stillness before the next inhalation. And let's unravel those legs. We'll bend both knees now, coming into an active bridge. So press down through the feet, through the back of the head and the shoulders, lifting up. Lift up the heels and we'll just move the bolster to the side or the block and then lower down one vertebrae at a time. When you touch down to the mat, cupping hands over the knees, arms as straight as you inhale, and bend the elbows as you exhale. So take as long as you need to with that counter stretch. If you're ready to move on, we'll take hands underneath the bottom. Legs are straight, pushing through the balls of the feet. Lift the head up off the mat. Drishti is your toes as you slowly lower those legs down. And we'll hover an inch above the mat before hinging your way up to seated. So recruiting your bolster or your pillows once again, laying them alongside the mat. I'm going to come down into a prone twist. So sitting with your right hip next to the bolster. Always option to place a block in between the legs if your hips need support. Hands are either side. Let's inhale and lengthen. Then as you exhale, try to bring as much of your navel down onto the bolster as you can. Now head can turn left or right depending on your neck. And here you want to feel the navel expand against the bolster on the inhalation and gently contract as you exhale. And gently deepen your breath to deepen your twist. And let's follow your next inhalation, lifting up out of the pose. Either come to the knees and change sides, or if you like, lift up into a brief downward facing dog. When you're ready, pivot those feet and change sides. Bring your left hip down next to the bolster, lengthening the spine, and lower yourself down. And deepening that internal massage by deepening your breath. Feel the breath gently rock the body against the bolster. And let's follow the next inhalation out of the pose. Coming all the way up onto all fours now, and just turn your bolster around so that it's parallel to the short side of the mat, and then recruiting your blocks or your books if you're using them. Practicing our Sphinx pose on our props. Now, of course, if you prefer not to use your props and lay flat on your mat, feel free to do so. Otherwise, we're going to bring our navel down onto your bolster or your pillows and your forearms onto the blocks. So if you can, we'll keep those shoulders relaxed, softening down the spine and the chin parallel to the floor. But if you need to soften this pose or support the head, you can always take the hands to the jaw or frame the face. Feeling the body move with the pulse of the breath. There's nowhere else to be right now but with your breath. And when you're ready, let's come up onto those knees. Just move your bolster or your pillows to the side. And coming into a wide-legged child's pose. So knees as wide as the mat, big toes to touch. If your forehead doesn't meet the floor with ease, you can always place a block underneath. I'll leave it up to you whether your arms are straight or you can bring those hands into prayer above the head. And taking your breath awareness now into the back. Feel the back rise and expand as you inhale. A moment to pause in that spaciousness before you exhale and soften, surrender. And from here, let's lift up. You can come straight down onto your navel. Just have one block or your book close by, and we'll flip over onto your back. So from here, let's move the hips a little to the left, crossing left leg over the right leg. We're twisting. Bring those knees down to the block. And if your left shoulder lifts up quite high off the mat, take the prop under your leg higher, or use another prop under that shoulder, or of course you can bring that arm down next to the back if there is any discomfort. If it feels okay for your neck, lift the head and move the back of the head to the right, just a touch, and then turning to the left. Try to soften and relax the outer hips, the buttocks. So option 1, yogis, you can stay exactly as you are. If you'd like to bring in a little quad stretch and a little back bend, keep that left knee resting on your block. Just straighten your right leg underneath you. Take the right leg back a little and then reach for the foot. You can always use a strap if you can't reach the foot. But if there is any discomfort in the back, any jamming sensation in the low back, then release that foot and return to your twist. And gently deepening the breath to deepen the back bend, to deepen the twist. Mind, body, breath, all three need to be present to experience yoga. And let's release the foot if you have it on your next exhalation. Return to your back. Move the hips a little to the right and then crossing the legs once again. Resting your Right knee on the block. Feeling the tension in the back and the outer hips subside with each exhalation. And once again, either staying as you are or straighten the left leg underneath you, move that leg back and take a hold of the foot. Take one last inhalation here. And then as you exhale, roll onto your back, coming into Shavasana. So you might like to place your bolster or your pillows behind your knees, or even your blocks under your thighs. Just letting those legs fall heavy. Shoulders tucking under. softening the forehead, the tongue and jaw. And just be in this spaciousness. Let's inhale a little deeper now. Feel free to inhale those arms above the head, as though you just woke up. Wiggling toes and fingers, or rocking the head from side to side. When you're ready, roll to your side. And pushing yourself up to seated. Well, thanks yogis for practicing with me today. I hope that you enjoyed that class. Please do feel free to make any class requests in the comments below. And if you haven't done so already, please do subscribe to the channel. It's the best way to support free yoga on YouTube. Not just my channel, but any teacher that you watch on a regular basis. Have a lovely day.